Welcome back. You're watching Live from Paris on France 24. It's time now for Media Watch France, where we find out what's making the buzz in the French press and on the blogs. James Creedon is back. He's here with us in the studio.
Good evening.
Hi there, James. Long time no see. Starting as always, as you usually do, with a big controversy, and this is a new application,
Absolutely.
a phone app.
You know what? I even downloaded it today on my nifty little iPhone, and the application is very controversial, especially in France, and I'll explain why later. Jew or not Jew. Now, basically, it's an application which identifies well-known or celebrity Jews. And you can see if we move to the computer here, there's a web page for it as well, which gives a kind of a close-up
Some might
to
say
what
that is app-alling.
App-alling. Very good.
That's the
you
first
could
of
move
many.
into comedy, I think, Laura Baines. Very good. Anyway, so Jew or not Jew. But of course, some people aren't finding this funny at all. They think that it's very, I suppose, borderline politically incorrect.
Racist.
Or racist, in fact. So here you can see kind of a close-up of what the pages represent. And you've got celebrities such as Jennifer Connelly, who's got a Jewish mother, they point out on this application. Now, it was created on the 9th of August. And it took a full month for the French press to realise the existence of this. And you can see here on the webpage of Le Nouvel Observateur, it's a sort of a left-leaning magazine here in France, Jewish or not Jewish, the new iPhone application which is creating a scandal. And look, they've even put a little cartoon in where they're calling it the Heil phone, not the iPhone. So you can pretty much tell what their conclusion is here, that this is evocative of bad memories from the Second World War. And so the author of that particular blog post there for Le Nouvel Observateur says that you'd think it's a bad joke, except that it's true. And how could such a monstrosity be allowed to exist?
Right, because it's highly sensitive here in France, especially, isn't it?
Absolutely. And if we have a listen to some of the reaction, and we'll go into more details on why it's controversial in a minute, but we'll listen to the reaction of the head of a French association against anti-Semitism. This is Alain Jakubowicz.
For me, this is the epitome of anti-Semitism because it clearly identifies people suspected of being Jewish. Seeing this kind of question being asked by news technologies is more than a little worrying.
So basically, there's been loads of reaction on Twitter as well. We'll just have a quick look at what people are saying. You know how Apple gets you to rate applications with 5 yellow stars? So one guy is saying, Jewish or not Jewish, on the Apple Store, you are rating this with yellow stars. How much more tasteless can this get? Now, the thing is, this is particularly controversial in France for 2 reasons. First of all, there's a law on secularism in France, which is very extended compared to other countries. You're not allowed to gather statistics on race, colour, creed, or anything like that. So you've got SOS Racism here, this particular group, which is going to take Apple to the courts over this because they're behaving illegally. And lots of articles online are linking to this particular code. It's Article 226.19 of the Penal Code in France, which specifically makes it illegal for anybody to gather information about one's religious affiliation without their consent. So it's controversial for that reason, but also, of course, even beyond the legalities of this all, for historical reasons. And you can see here, Rue 89, a left-leaning website, they're talking about un fichier des Juifs. Now, this basically is a reference to not occupied France during World War II, when under Philippe Pétain, they gathered documentation on Jewish people. They were documented. There was a directory created, or a fichier, as they call it in French. Just like in Germany, where those who were Jewish were noted down. They weren't allowed to work in the civil service, to work as teachers. They had to wear the yellow star. So because of those historical reasons, it's extremely sensitive.
Yeah, and who created this dodgy app?
Well, he's a British guy and living in Marseille, according to AFP, the
because
AFP
in America,
news agency.
in the United States, it was all fine and dandy, wasn't it? Nobody complained about it.
This is it. I mean, the application exists in English and in French. And nowhere online has there been any negative reaction about this application in the English language. I mean, it's available to any iPhone user in the US, elsewhere. And indeed, you can see here, even the way it's being kind of marketed on one of these websites, which allows you to download apps, is just quite extraordinary. They're talking about it in just with no controversial element to it whatsoever. Have you ever wondered if Marilyn Monroe was Jewish or if various other celebrities were Jewish? Download this app, no problem. And actually online, if you look across the web, there are even games like this, Guess Who is Jewish? And there's no real racist element to this at all. And even the guy behind this application, he's a guy called Johan Levi, and he's actually Jewish himself, says that this is intended for fun. It simply shows that through hard work, many Jews, often from immigrant families, have managed to achieve recognition. So he's not doing it for any sort of stigmatization of the Jewish population. He's doing it out of pride.
All right.
But in France, pretty controversial.
That's how you see it. I guess it's one of those things. All right, let's move on to another controversy here in France because, good old presidential hopeful Ségolène Royal says she wants to sweep out corrupt politicians with a broomstick.
That's right. Now, you might say, what's so interesting about that? Let's just have a quick listen to her saying it, and then we'll listen to what she said afterwards. Yeah.
At this stage, with such an accumulation of scandals and with public confidence so low, the only solution is to sweep them out.
All right, so far, so not very interesting, not very controversial. That was yesterday morning. So she's, references to broomsticks, kind of, household materials. Let's have a listen to what she said next, which shows that this was all very intentional. She was building up to something.
It's true that we need a woman to be elected to do the cleaning. Sweep them out, sweep them out.
Oh my goodness, a woman should do the cleaning.
To get the sweeping brush out, to get the broomstick.
The barrel, isn't she, there?
She is a little. And what's interesting is Ségolène Royal went for the presidential election in 2007. And at the time, she made every effort to do away with any efforts to kind of classify her as a woman, the female candidate. She didn't want to be viewed as that. Some would say that she did at kind of on a subliminal level. But anyway, and now she's sort of using her femininity as a tool to get the Socialist Party nomination because she's falling far behind her former partner, François Hollande, and another female candidate, Martine Aubry.
Lost a lot of weight. Looks good.
That's right. So she's kind of drawing out any old material she can at this point, including her femininity.
Right. Don't know what we think about that. James Creedon, we'll have to leave it there. Many thanks indeed. That's it for Media Watch. Don't go away because I'll have the very latest international headlines for you in just a moment. This is France 24.